what we're looking at is 18100. It is a early line. That's something our industry's needed. We have a potato that potentially could be harvested at 90, 95 days instead of 110, 120 days. So that can kick off your season a lot earlier as far as harvest. This year, is a great example, is that we're short on product, and so being able to get into the ground a couple weeks early is a big deal for producers so they can supply their markets. It's also great because if you have an early yielding variety, you can plant late. Sometimes we have lots of rains, we can't get in, and then you're still harvesting at a normal time frame. So again, we got both a front end and a back end value of having an early line. This one is also very high yielding, and that's something we're real excited to see. We've found it universally in a lot of different soil types, both sandy, heavier soils, to perform very nicely. We're looking at, for instance, in this particular plot, we're looking at Beauregard total tonnage is about 600 bushels per acre, whereas 18100 is about 900. And if we look at the number ones, we're about 70% number ones for 18100. So it's quite exceptional as far as its productivity. And so we're trying to see if we can, so right now this year we're looking for what's right and what's wrong with it. So far we see a lot right, but when we trial in a lot of different plots, we're going to find that, you know, when we have everything go wrong, no rain, too much heat, too much everything, does it perform as well as our mainstream varieties, which would be Orleans and Beauregard. And so that's what we're looking at this year. Are there any deficits that would see in it, and for right now we're not seeing that. It looks like it's really a strong performer. The one thing we do notice for the growers, the plant beds do need to be pre-sprouted. The roots need to be pre-sprouted before putting into the ground. You get your optimal plant productivity from that. We've also seen really good stand with it, and that's kind of when you putting out sweet potatoes in a lot of you know, high heat, low rainfall, you know, do you get that stand? Do you get a lot of plant die-off? And we're seeing these are a little bit hardier plants, and so they seem to be holding up very nicely. An issue with an early line is you got to catch it, or it can oversize, and then you're dealing with a less profitable profile of sweet potatoes. And so we're looking at both a 10-inch and a 12-inch spacing. In this particular plot, the 12-inch spacing just nailed it. Just really gave a much higher grade out of what we call the U.S. number ones. It was almost 70% number ones, which is exceptional. And so we're really pleased with that. The 10-inch spacing, we had, the tonnage was not too far off, a little bit less, but we weren't having as many number ones. But then again, that's that, if you leave it to 110, 120 days, that 10-inch spacing may keep you or prevent you from getting into the jumbos. This is really that mainstream bread and butter orange flesh sweet potato that looks like Beauregards, looks like Orleans. It looks like the kind of potatoes you see in the bin in the grocery store. So that's what makes it also special, is we're not dealing with any type of odd coloration with the skin. It can be blended with the other varieties very, very easily. So that's another huge plus to it.